Today, we are going to talk about a topic that touches nearly everyone, either personally or through someone they care about: anxiety. But we're not just going to talk about how anxiety feels. Racing thoughts, shortness of breath, mental overwhelm. We're going to talk about the biology and, more importantly, how nutrition can either worsen or relieve it. You see, anxiety isn't just a mental health issue. It's a neurochemical and metabolic imbalance. And that means what you eat and what you don't eat. It can directly increase or reduce anxiety. In this talk, I'm going to take you through the neurobiology of anxiety, the gut-brain connection, the most common nutritional deficiencies that fuel anxiety, specific foods and nutrients that reduce it, and how to build a daily protocol to calm your brain and support long-term emotional balance. Let's first get clear on what anxiety is from a neuroscience standpoint. At its core, anxiety involves overactivation of the amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, underactivation of the prefrontal cortex, the part that regulates rational thought. Is imbalances in neurotransmitters like GABA, serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine X, elevated cortisol, and chronic low-grade inflammation XA, dysregulated autonomic nervous system. This results in heightened fear responses, physical symptoms like rapid heart rate, shallow breathing, digestive issues, mental symptoms like racing thoughts, rumination, or even panic. Here's what's critical to understanding all of those systems: neurotransmitters, hormones, inflammation are deeply affected by nutrition. Let's first get clear on what anxiety is from a neuroscience standpoint. At its core, anxiety involves aches and overactivation of the amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, underactivation of the prefrontal cortex, the part that regulates rational thought, X imbalances in neurotransmitters like GABA, serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine X, elevated cortisol, and chronic low-grade inflammation XA, dysregulated autonomic nervous system. This results in heightened fear responses, physical symptoms like rapid heart rate, shallow breathing, digestive issues, mental symptoms like racing thoughts, rumination, or even panic. Here's what's critical to understand all of those systems: neurotransmitters, hormones, inflammation are deeply affected by nutrition. Let's first get clear on what anxiety is from a neuroscience standpoint. At its core, anxiety involves overactivation of the amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, underactivation of the prefrontal cortex, the part that regulates rational thought, imbalances in neurotransmitters like GABA, serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine, elevated cortisol, and chronic low-grade inflammation EA, dysregulated autonomic nervous system. This results in heightened fear responses, physical symptoms like rapid heart rate, shallow breathing, digestive issues, mental symptoms like racing thoughts, rumination, or even panic. Here's what's critical to understand: all of those systems, neurotransmitters, hormones, inflammation, are deeply affected by nutrition. Let's first get clear on what anxiety is from a neuroscience standpoint. At its core, anxiety involves overactivation of the amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, underactivation of the prefrontal cortex, the part that regulates rational thought, imbalances in neurotransmitters like GABA, serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine, the elevated cortisol and chronic low-grade inflammation, EA, dysregulated autonomic nervous system. This results in heightened fear responses, physical symptoms like rapid heart rate, shallow breathing, digestive issues, mental symptoms like racing thoughts, rumination, or even panic. Here's what's critical to understand: all of those systems, neurotransmitters, hormones, inflammation, are deeply affected by nutrition. Now let's talk about what to add to your plate. These foods either support neurotransmitter balance, reduce inflammation, or restore the gut-brain axis of magnesium, rich with pumpkin seeds, spinalmonds, dark chocolate, 80% quarters of avocados, omerasladya, y, salmon, asoric seed, oy, be vitamin boosters, the plaque seed, egg meats, organ meats, lentils, nutritional yeast, fermented full to solution, hot charm, each going to throw in the thread and arteries, yes, currently chicken orbit with life cultures and muser opening building, stammen, meat, a warm lemon water pinch of sea salt, omelette with spinach, mushrooms, and avocado, green tea with L-theanine mid, morning snack, the handful of almonds, blueberries, herbal tea, chamomile, or tulsit lunch, wild salmon salad with olive oil, quinoa, fermented veggies, a glass of water with magnesium powder, afternoon snack, pumpkin seeds plus dark chocolate square, optional magnesium and a theanine supplement stack dinner, roast chicken or tofu with steamed greens and sweet potato, miso broth or small bowl of plain kefir, optional glycine, rich bone broth for sleep support before bed. Magnesium glycinate, no screens, dim light. Gut health is a long game, but it pays dividends for anxiety. Gut protocol: eat 30 different plant types per week. Diverse fiber feeds gut flora. Include one fermented food daily. Avoid seed oils and refined carbs. Use probiotics selectively. Lactobacillus rhamnosus and Bifidobacterium longum have best anxiety data. The more diverse your microbiome, the more resilient your mood. If food alone isn't enough, supplementation can help if targeted. Magnesium glycinate or threonate, 200-400 mg at night. Improves sleep, reduces muscle tension, supports JBAL, theanine 100, 200 mg, 1Z1, 2XX per day, calms without sedation, can be stacked with low-dose caffeine, omega-3 EPA focused lay 1,000 to 2,000 mg EPA daily anti-inflammatory and supports serotonin, ashwagandha KSM 66 or sensoril, 300 and 600 mg cortisol. Daily reduces cortisol, improves sleep, vitamin B complex, especially B6, B9, and B12 cofactors in neurotransmitter synthesis. Wake, 16 Oz water fuss pinch of salt, a 10 to 15 minutes sunlight, light movement tellers, walk or stretch, breakfast cells within 60 mins, high protein plus fat us fiber. No sugar or caffeine yet midday. Prioritize omega 3SA, take magnesium or B complex if supplementing afternoon, no sugar, no caffeine, a movement or NSDRs, a non-sleep deep rest evening, a light dinner, avoid alcohol, calm, magnesium, rich tea or supplement, bedtime, dark room, cool temperature, the optional guide glycine or JBA tea blend, KSE Studice and INI Q&A, Amanda's story. Amanda, 34, had daily panic attacks. After removing sugar and processed grains, adding fermented veggies and magnesium, she reported a 70% reduction in symptoms in 6 weeks. What if I can't afford supplements? Focus on whole foods, leafy greens, oats, legumes, seeds, and fermented foods. Many nutrients come from simple sources. Can coffee increase anxiety? Yes. Try half-calf or green tea suftheanine. Delay intake until 90 minutes after waking. How long before I feel better? Gut repair takes 3 to 4 weeks. Magnesium effects begin in 5 out of 7 days. Stick with it. What if I'm anxious at night? Avoid blue light. Take magnesium glycinate and use glycine plus a warm broth for calming amino acids. Does protein really help mood? Yes. It provides amino acids like tryptophan, tyrosine, and glutamine that form neurotransmitters. What's the link between sugar and panic? Blood sugar crashes, stress hormones, panic. Stable blood sugar, stable mind. Are all probiotics helpful? Look for strains like L. rhamnosus, B. longum, or L. helveticus specifically. What if I'm too anxious to eat? Start with liquid nutrition smoothies, broths, kefir. Then build up. Is gluten a problem? For some people, yes. Try 30 days gluten-free to test sensitivity. Monitor brain fog and anxiety changes. Should I fast for anxiety? Intermittent fasting can help some, worsen others. Avoid if anxiety peaks when fasting. Prioritize blood sugar balance first. Nutrition is a foundation, but true anxiety relief requires integration. Layered support plan. Nutrient. Dense meals key neurotransmitter support. Magnesium omega-3. Calm baseline. Breath work, a physiological size, moment-to-moment control. Morning light movement, less overstimulation. A. Social connection. Oxytocin and vagal tone. This is how you build resilience. You build a resilience, not just relief. Anxiety is real. It's not weakness. It's biology. A signal from your nervous system that something is out of alignment. And the food you put into your body is one of the most powerful levers to shift that biology. So instead of asking, what's wrong with me? Start asking, what's missing from my diet? Because when you give your brain the minerals to calm itself, the proteins to build neurotransmitters, the fats to reduce inflammation, and the fibers to feed your microbiome, you stop surviving anxiety. And you start building stability, clarity, and peace from the inside out. Thank you for being here and for your interest in science-based tools. If you found this helpful, please share it with someone who might benefit. And remember, you can rewire your brain. One meal at a time. Until next time, be well and take care of your brain and body.